Good afternoon. My name is Bill Carothers and I work for Uneeda Enterprises. We manufacture a lot of high quality sandpaper products, belts, discs, and everything else. But today we're going to go over some of our newer products that aren't your typical sandpaper products, but these are sanding sponge type products. And so today I'm going to go over how I prepared and painted these white racing stripes onto my Mustang. I did that about 6 months ago. So initially I used green tape to tape off my lines, which was difficult, but I eventually got fairly close. Then I covered everything with masking paper prior to paint. So to prepare the surface for the painting, I used, instead of using sandpaper, I used Uneeda's 3x4 Ekasilk Plus superfine half-inch sponge instead of using sandpaper. This prepared the surface pretty well without having to get so scratchy with regular sandpaper. I also used a half-inch because of all the contours in the front and the back of the car. Otherwise, we have a 5mm firm, but the half-inch was better. So to give it some backing to it, I used some sanding 1-inch sponges that I already had at the house. So I used it pretty much like this. And then I did it in this upward motion because I didn't want to get it all swirly, so I just did it all in the same direction. And once I got the surface pretty well prepared for paint, then I cleaned it with wipes, which at that time we had a whole bunch of them, but we don't now. So I used wipes. Once it dried, I did 3 coats of white and then 3 coats of Body Shop clear. I used aerosols in my garage. I used this for my 3 coats of white. It worked really well. I watched a YouTube video on how to do this. So every 30 minutes I did a coat. So once I had my 3rd coat down, I didn't use this product, but this is just an example. So the clear coat I put on every 30 minutes as well, till I had 3 coats. Well, I used a product that's not this one, but it was called 2K. It's an aerosol version of a Body Shop quality lacquer. It has an activator button on the bottom, a red one, a red button. You push it in, then you mix the activator with the lacquer, and then you can go the spray. I did 1 coat, and then every 30 minutes a 2nd coat, then a 3rd coat. Then I waited a week for it to cure, and then when you look at it, you kind of see like a little bit of an orange peel, like the skin on an orange. But you want it just to be white. You don't want to see that. So that's when I went with Uneeda's 2000 grit Ekasky product, which was great. I preferred using this versus a wet or dry paper. So I used this in conjunction with the sanding sponges for behind it. And I used water, so I went over all the white areas with that. So I got it about as good as I could get it. Then I did the same process with rubbing compound with no water with the same disc. And then after that I used polishing compound. And then by then, after several attempts, I got it to look pretty good. Don't really see too much, but just white, which is what I want. The other thing too is you don't want to do too much buffing, or you could go right through all the coats of clear coat. You don't really want to do that. I used the half-inch version of the 3x4 Ekasilk Plus initially because of all the contours on the car. The firm version of Ekasilk Plus wouldn't have enough flexibility to particularly do this section of the car, which was very annoying. To say the least, it took me forever. So once I had the buffing process done, then I used the turtle wax, and then after that I used the clear detail high gloss spray. So as you can see, the car turned out pretty well. And it does have about 500 horsepower and it can really fly. But anyway, today I wanted to go over using unconventional type sanding on a car prior to paint by using some of Uneeda's excellent products. The Ekasilk Plus, which comes in different grits, but the Superfine was rough enough to do what I wanted to do. And the Ekasky 2000 grit for the polishing buffing process. So if anybody wants to do some of their own painting on their car, it can be done. I did this for about $70 compared to whatever a body shop would cost. Anyway, that's it for today's lesson, and eventually I'll probably do another video on custom painting snow skis. Thanks, and see you later.